If you're into nostalgia, this isn't for you.
Yeah.
So recently we went to go see the Power Rangers movie, and it's definitely not the same film. So before I go into the review of the film, here are the top 3 reasons why I did not like the new Power Rangers reboot. Okay, so this past weekend we went to go see the new Mighty Morphin Power Ranger reboot. What can't even call it Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, just Power Rangers. So we went to go see the new Power Rangers reboot, and it definitely wasn't what I expected. Reason number 1, they changed the whole backstory of the cast. Now, I was really confused because growing up on the TV show, if you watch a TV show, the show starts off with all of the Rangers being friends. They also didn't have that much attitude. These kids were so emo, it wasn't even funny. But these kids had way more attitude, and they were just like the delinquents of the bunch. They wasn't the same kids I remember from Angel Grove. You know, I think that's one of the things I didn't like about this movie. There's a lot of things that sounded like Power Rangers, but it wasn't the Power Rangers. You know, they turned Kimberly into a bitch who was leaking pictures. You know, Billy's autistic, which is not too bad because I have an autistic godson, so I kind of appreciate them making an autistic superhero. But at the same time, Billy wasn't black. Zach wasn't Asian. 2017, what can I say? It is what it is. But that's the Power Rangers I grew up watching. Reason number 2. Rita was probably maybe the best villain on Kids TV at that time. And you know, I don't know whether it was I missed the crackling laugh, maybe the original gown. And Elizabeth Banks is a real great actress. It just felt weird seeing somebody else play Rita. Maybe I'm just too stuck on nostalgia. Maybe I'm just too much of a fan of the original series and the original movie. But they changed her outfit. They made her all green. Yes, she did have the power of the Green Ranger, but it's like, oh god, y'all really just forced it in there that she. I didn't like the fact that they made it seem like she was the original Green Ranger. Rita being the original Green Ranger, I thought that was really, really weird. Oh, spoiler alert. I should say spoiler alert real quick. Spoiler alert. Rita being the original Green Ranger and her and Zordon were on the same team and Zordon was the Red Ranger. That was just a lot of information to pull in the first few minutes of the movie, and I'm just like, okay, where did this come from? And I've never heard about Zordon being a Power Ranger, let alone be one of the original Red Rangers, but it was different. The movie kind of opened up like that Power Ranger fan film that came out a few years ago by Joseph Kahn. I think that's his last name. Like, when the film first started, I thought I was watching the Power Ranger fan film. I'm like, oh, they literally just ripped this off, but a few minutes later, you see, oh no, they went in a complete different direction with this one. Number 3. And number 3 on that list, why I don't like the new Power Rangers reboot, it takes a whole hour and 15 minutes before you see them actually put on the suit. I was expecting Go Power Rangers from Jump Street. From the beginning of the film, they got the suits, they fighting ass, boom, boom, boom. Not the case. You know, this was really an origin story. You know, we really didn't have an origin story of Power Rangers on film. Because the first film, they were already Power Rangers. They were already doing their thing. They were already fighting crime. And that's kind of what I expected. I expected to see them in their suits, fighting crime, beating down bad guys. They spent the whole movie just preparing and getting to know each other. And then, at the last minute, it becomes a Power Ranger episode. The last 30 minutes become an official Power Ranger episode. They're off in the middle of nowhere, fighting monsters, and then they go to the city, and then they go fight a giant monster in the suits. And why didn't they make Goldar like full of gold, that's dripping liquid gold? Why can't a Goldar just be a monster in gold armor like he was in the show? See, that's what I'm saying. It's this nostalgia. The nostalgia probably messed up the movie for me. You know, I've seen a lot of kids in the film, when they were watching in the audience, they enjoyed the film. You know, they wasn't caught up in nostalgia, so they didn't see the things I was seeing. A few of the adults were kind of like, you know, loving it. Not so much for me. The nostalgia was kind of there, but it wasn't. You know, little bits and lines and little dialogue and little set pieces kind of brought the nostalgia there. Like, oh, this feels like a Power Ranger movie, but it didn't all the way feel like a Power Ranger movie. Well, I will say I am excited to see what the sequel may look like. Now we got the origin story out the way. I'm hoping maybe the sequels will be better because they're really setting up the franchise over there at Lionsgate. So I'm really hoping that the series gets a lot better than this. But I can actually say I do not really enjoy this new Power Ranger film. It's just me. I guess I'm just stuck with nostalgia. I never really felt that with any other movie, you know. I liked all the other reboots and remakes Not so much with this one. So yeah, I will say wait to DVD. You know, you might feel otherwise. You know, A definitely felt otherwise.
Definitely not Turbo.
Definitely not Turbo.
Oh God, no, not Turbo.
Right. So in this movie, it's basically
Power Rangers.
this movie is definitely an origin story explaining how everybody met and, you know, how they really are teenagers with attitudes. So you can see before they were like saving the world and being buddy and, you know, hey, don't bully people and stuff like that. Before they were all that, they were just separate teenagers, weird teenagers, getting into trouble, going through what teenagers go through, you know. Yeah, Jason messing up his pop's car, which was a really cool shot of one take of the car getting
Jason
destroyed.
was the job. Kimberly was the fucking cheerleader.
And not just any cheerleader, but she was the bitch cheerleader. They basically told you it was okay to be it's okay to be a bitch. Nice people are bitches sometimes. That's basically the lesson we learned with Kimberly.
Yeah, you might be a bitch at one point in your life, but you don't have to always be a bitch. And that's the moral to Kimberly's story.
That really is.
You don't have to always be a bitch.
Billy had to be the magic black guy who knows everything, and, you know, he basically was Nick Fury in this. Yeah, Billy was basically Nick Fury, and Zach was not the same. I can't put my finger on it. Maybe there was no dancing. Maybe
Dancing?
there was no dancing from Zach. Maybe that was it.
I mean,
Maybe
Zach was Asian.
That could be it. That could be it. Yeah.
Asian. And they made okay. I understand this now. I got why they did this, right? Because the Yellow Ranger ain't no more the Asian Ranger. It's not the Asian Ranger. So
Latina.
yellow and
Latin
Asian.
American.
We got that. It was racist. Black
So they made the black
and
the blue
Zach
Ranger.
is it's kind of racist. Some people argue about that. Okay, I understand why you did that. But then you made the Asian Ranger
The black
work on a fucking railroad. You know how? Do you know the history of America?
I didn't even peep that.
He was on the train all
Yeah.
damn day.
All
Nigga.
day.
That's where he worked. Sideline gig. Crazy.
It was.
Crazy.
I'm not gonna try to spoil so much for the film. I can say when the film started, it reminded me of the Joseph Kahn fan film on YouTube. It really started off that way, but it doesn't go in that direction at all. But it's definitely on some Dawson's Creek, Buffy the Vampire, you know, Saved by the Bell.
And black people.
Really got that vibe.
Black people, I need a vote on this. We need to come together and determine
Figure out-
if the blue new Black Ranger
The Blue
was
Ranger.
a jigaboo.
Was
doing jigaboo
was he a
shit.
coon? Was the new
Was he
Blue-
cooning in this fucking movie? Like, I was feeling like he was cooning.
He was definitely. He was borderline cooning. It was borderline cooning.
cooning.
Borderline
Young
cooning.
points and nerd points included, but still cooning.
I like how the fact they play Power Rangers for like 3 seconds and then cut right off. Like the way we don't see the Power Ranger suits for like an hour and something minutes into the film. Finally, we see them in the suits and the Zords. Go Power Ranger! Boom. That's it. That was it. But I never knew I needed. No riff. There was no riff. Yeah, I can't. I gotta admit though, I never thought I needed to hear Kanye West in the background of Power Rangers. I needed that in my life. I needed that. You needed that. You had that.
Yeah, that soundtrack.
That
we
soundtrack
can
was
agree on that fucking soundtrack.
That soundtrack was really good.
Awesome.
That was a really good soundtrack.
Go back.
The only thing I didn't like about the movie, it felt like it dragged in the beginning for us to get to the freaking suits, for them to actually morph for the first time.
But they do this a lot, though.
Yeah, but
that's to set up the sequel. They'll sacrifice.
Oh yeah, this
the
whole
first
movie was a setup for the franchise, basically. That's all the film was.
We having Fast and Furious numbers with this Power Ranger shit. It's happening.
Especially with the ending, when they make sure, you know, if you stay in the mid credits, they let you see a character coming from the next movie. You know, if you watch the show growing up, you know who the character is. If you didn't watch the show, I'm not going to spoil it because you don't know what the character is anyway.
If you did watch the show,
Here's the thing, I definitely want to point this out. If you're not a Power Rangers fan, like if you didn't grow up with the series growing up, you didn't get the toys, you didn't get the video games, you didn't watch all the series from Zeo to Space to Galaxy to Turbo. No, not that. I'm saying if you didn't grow up on the show, I wouldn't recommend you go see this movie. I honestly don't think so. if your kid's seen it and your kids want, want your kids to shut up, then I definitely recommend it, because there was a lot of kids in the theater. It's the first time in a long time I went to a movie where I was expecting to see a lot of kids, and there were a lot of kids, and these kids, I was shocked. These kids are a lot bolder than the way I was as a kid, because there were certain scenes in there at that age, like these kids are like maybe 3, 4. Certain scenes of that, I was like, oh, no, like some of the scenes with Rita, I think I would have freaked out like crazy. But these kids were just like on the edge of their seat, like, oh snap, Rita's here. Oh, it's going down.
Like, we thought she was really about to kill her. Like, we thought she was really about to kill her.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, Elizabeth Banks is Rita too. She did a great job. But
Team Elizabeth Banks.
But at the same time, it was weird. Like I miss Rita's crackling laugh. Like we're not getting that with this one. No.
She's a fine fucking Rita. She's fine by me. Go ahead, Elizabeth. Good read it.
Bryan Cranston as Zordon was perfect. Like in a way it was weird because I know that was Bryan Cranston. So I'm just thinking, Heisenberg. I'm thinking Walter White. I'm thinking Hal from Malcolm in the Middle.
I'm thinking Dick.
Zordon was a dick.
He was a dick, and we're not gonna tell you what he was originally, but Zordon was a dick.
And I thought it was so funny, like the moment we knew Zordon was gonna stop being a dick, because there's one part of the movie I'm not gonna spoil when, but there was a moment where the kid's like, Zordon, we need your help, and he's like, well, that's out of my hands, guys. I don't know about that.
hey, I gave you these stones. That's about all I can do. What else you want
eventually
me
he
to do?
decides, you know what, I can't do this. The Power Rangers need to stick together. And then everybody started clapping like, yeah, like y'all didn't think that was gonna happen? Did you really think Zordon was gonna be a dick the whole time? Like, nah, you know what? I'm not gonna need these Rangers really. I could do this myself. Right? Like, come on now. There was a lot of clapping, and I felt some of that was unnecessary.
Unnecessary ass clapping.
Unnecessary clapping for no apparent reason.
Niggas clapping before the actual shit happened.
Right? You see the Megazord coming up. We can't even see. The Megazord hadn't even come up all the way. We're still in the fire. We're still in the smoke and debris. They're like, woo! Mind you, it's still going on. The debris is still going.
And then you hear the clapping go. Yeah, is it still coming? It's like, yeah, y'all feel stupid, right? Y'all still clapping. Clap on, niggas. Don't slow down now. No, and then they just lost it. Like, right. And the Megazord still wasn't up by the time they was done clapping. He was mad.
It's something for every few things after a while. The only thing I felt like that was worth clapping for, which I clapped, was when we saw the cameos from 2 of the original Power Rangers, which I'm like, well, why couldn't Jack get the rest? Probably because Tom Saban is still being cheap and don't want to pay nobody.
Yeah, right.
You know how he got, like, you remember the ending of the first Power Ranger movie when they were watching the fireworks and stuff like that? You know what they did instead of just hiring extras? Guess what they did?
What they did?
They put a newspaper ad that, hey, come see the Power Rangers live. And people came thinking they're going to see Power Rangers do live tricks and stuff. Nope, they had them sitting there like, no, just stand right there. Just stand right there, because they didn't want to pay extras.
Sons of bitches.
So I'm sure
You owe me a check! You owe me a check! Give me my goddamn check, you cheap ass Power Ranger motherfuckers!
I'm sure he ain't paid it.
Got Power Ranger
he probably
money.
didn't pay. That's probably why he didn't pay the. He probably didn't pay the ones who did the cameo. It was like, come on, guys, you guys gotta believe it for the legacy.
Jason got checked.
Jason, I'm sure Jason ain't good. I'm sure.
Matter of fact,
he's a Tommy. The real life Tommy.
Real life Jason.
The real life
Tommy.
His name is in the show. He's Tommy in the show. Real life is Jason. Real life Jason.
Fuck that up.
Real life Jason don't need to get paid to be a Power Ranger. He's a Power Ranger for life. He don't need a check to be a Power Ranger. That's why we see him to this day as a group.
That nigga asked for something. He's like, can I at least get dinner?
Can I get a flight? Can you pay for my trip at least?
Can you get some Red Lobster? I know you paid Kimberly. I know you paid Kimberly.
Right, because Kimberly hasn't been in anything Power Ranger since Turbo.
Said nope.
Like, I'm not doing this again. I left this 20 years ago.
Are they the only ones alive?
No, they still got it. The only one who from the original Power Ranger is Trini. Rest in peace. She's the only one that's gone. She's the only one that's gone.
Oh, boy.
Alright. Speaking of Trini, I remember growing up, I thought she was a lesbian because I saw her on the L Word. It was a show. And now, in the show, in Power Rangers, her character is gay.
Hey, we're not gonna say that yet.
No, bro, she was gay.
Oh no, we're not gonna
she
say
was because it was like, oh, boyfriend.
As the other half of the business, I'm disclaiming. As a nigga that said lesbian in the theater, I was like, oh, she a lesbian. She a lesbian. Mama don't understand. Mama's strict. Mama don't like that.
I was looking at you know what's crazy? I was looking it was crazy because I was looking at once that scene happened, I was looking at the audience and watching how the parents were gonna react to that scene, like, how do y'all react to this? It's a new world these days, y'all. It's a new world. Now they didn't seem to care too much.
I wouldn't let her pee in the cup. No, not at all. I'm not gonna ask my daughter. I trust her.
But overall, Power Rangers, I think it's, to me, maybe because of nostalgia, I still prefer the original movie. But I am excited to see where the new franchise will go. The only thing I probably don't accept is the fact that I waited like maybe an hour and change before I got to see them in their suits. I didn't like that at all.
Yeah. He's impatient.
I'm very impatient. I wanted to see go within the first 15 minutes. I was like, where are the suits? Where are the suits?
They need to start off with the suits in the first place.
I'm waiting for the sequel.
Oh, shit.
Anyways, I'm waiting for the sequel. I'm hoping the sequel is better. I'm waiting for the sequel. I give this movie a 7 out of 10. And that's probably just because you give it an 8. You give it an 8. I don't know. Maybe if I was still in high school and felt like I didn't go through, if I still had those experiences coming towards me. If it had more guitar riffs, maybe I would have enjoyed it more. Maybe.
It's a power riff. God damn it. They ain't power. It's a power riff. It's really called a power.
So I would recommend wait till it comes on digital HD. I wouldn't really go see it in theaters. I wouldn't think so. What about you? You see it in theaters?
Can't 3D and shit.
Is it in 3D? I didn't see no showing for a 3D movie anyway. Maybe just make a Fresh Metal too.
Fresh Metal too?
Yeah. I ain't seen no 3D. Either or, I say wait till it's on digital HD or catch it when it's on TV because you know it's gonna be on Nickelodeon or something very soon. But that designer just walked by, guys.
Panda.
So tell me what you guys think. Did you guys like the new Power Rangers movie? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you think the original was better? Do you think this is better than the original? Or do you prefer the old TV show? Tell me what you guys think. Leave a comment below. Tell me if you guys want to see more videos like this. I just dropped a new book, Game Over, my new novella, as well as my original novella, Escape. We got the new Micro Budget Film Academy digital course about to drop. And if you're looking for any media marketing service, make sure you check out clonable.com for my rates and services. Till next time, guys. Much love, God bless, 2 Pieces of Chicken Grease. Peace.